higher. The vengeance of Jaja, it must be on the land. It must be on the land. Yes, what we have to do. Money can't help you. Rich man up feel. The vengeance is on the land. The vengeance is on the land. All together now. Of the future shall survive. The strongest of the strongest stay alive. A weak heart shall take us while I die. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Things and times are tough, oh yeah. Don't it get so tough? We never get enough. The vengeance is on the land. The vengeance is on the land, yeah. People, what is the cause of all the trouble in the world today? Tell me. Things and times so warm. No peace, no day higher. The vengeance of Jaja, it must be on the land. It must be on the land. Yes, what we have to do. Money can't help you, oh no. Rich man up feel it too. The vengeance is on the land. The vengeance is on the land, my brother. It is up to people shall survive. Yeah, yeah. Strongest of the strongest stay alive. A weak heart shall take us while I die. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Live with love, my brother. Yeah. In the world, things and times so warm. No peace, no day higher. The vengeance of Jaja, it must be on the land. It must be on the land. shall survive. Yeah, yeah, strongest of the strongest stay alive.
Greetings with the original Things and Times. Want to go back to Malcolm Malachi Shabazz and the manipulation of the media. So before we even do that now, I want to say that we always play a tune, The World's in Trouble, and Live It Ain't Easy. But when I look and see our brothers and sisters, them, but mostly our brothers in America, troubles. Why? Only them know. You see, there's a certain life that people live in, and it always causes a problem for some of us. You know? And we talk Islam, we talk Hebrews, we talk Christianity, we talk all kind of thing in that day America. But they've gone through a whole evolution of issues. And then you come tell me that 2019, you have young men them in their 30s, are pedophiles, black man. Black man are discuss when them can go with woman, but them not discuss woman, you know. Them not discuss when them can go with females. Yes, children, to be frank, and using scripture as in Bible to justify their feelings. It's sad. Hey, Malachi Shabazz, start, boy.
This young lady right there.
I'd like to make a comment to Mr. Malcolm. Now, you're right, of course, the black people are in the worst. They have had the worst treatment. But isn't it also possible that if the white people, the poor people, the people down in my neighborhood, the white people, those that don't work, those that are on welfare, those that have nothing, if they got together too, and you help us, we'll help you. You help us get up there. You help us get rid of some of these people that are pressing down on us.
No, I say you should be just as active in your neighborhood as you have been in our neighborhood.
Is that possible? All right, we get our neighborhood real hot. Everybody's going for something. We alone, there are too few of us. There are too many men up there with all their cop cars and everything.
That's what they're always telling you. Never let your enemy tell you how many of you there are. Never let the man that you're against form your opinions. This is the trick that's played on everyone who's oppressed. The first thing, an occupation, when you have a revolution in the country, the first thing you take over is the radio. And then you start telling the people, everybody, the war is over. And so all of them surrender. No, they believe that thing right there. And once they take that over, they start telling you where you are and where they are, and you fall right in line. It's plain thought control. The majority of the American people aren't segregationists. That the majority of the American people aren't imperialists. But the government is, the structure is, the power faction is. So, how then do all the majority go along with it? Because those who sit in power over the television, over the radio, and over the press is constantly telling those who are the masses how free they are, and how this they are, and how that they are.
And that is what did happen with a program with an exercise called social engineering. Yeah, social engineering, mental entrapment, and then agents, workers that would develop whatever we're attempting to do. And we being the service Not we being the black people, We're novice to these things. As social engineering took place in Harlem, took place here in Hackney and in Brixton and in Tottenham. Yes, big things. And then them inside with that, the manpower does be ourselves, people who look like us. And whatever department is running it, they're not in a rush. That's why it's called social engineering. They're not in a rush. It's just that the people who is exercising, they have to be obedient. But since they're paid, they will also be, and they are trained. And they have to report. And they have to be competent and following commands, i.e. instructions. And that's what has been happening in Harlem. My family, them kick that and stamp on that. And not just them, a lot of people in Alabama and people in New Jersey. Yes. Islington, we were taught early how to recognize these things, but how to value ourselves and not to become a Rufus, a roast breadfruit, a coconut, a sellout. Value ourselves, have value for ourselves as African Caribbean people. Yeah. Recognize our families, recognize the name that we built, that we bear, and representation of our families. Even though the name them no belong to we. But our parents don't want to know so that our names, the names that we bear, is written up on a board in a police station or a court. Simple. And neither do they want to know that we have given our time saying that we'll get money from police or whoever and turn ourselves into informants. Nah. Them things are register with us. And when some people get to a certain level, them something there, you know what happen? Them take liberty of themselves, which is us. Them go overboard and use and misuse us. And many of them turn upon our women because our women is just squeamish. So them do what they want to do with them and get away. Most of the time get away with it. These things are sad. These things are sad. Yo, you people who like them, we don't want them over here, Seriously. We don't want them people over here in England. You understand? And I'm saying over here in England because that behavior, you understand? We already have the problem, big problem with the knife. We have the big problem with the knife. And we still ain't got to the real, huh? We haven't got to the bottom, top, side, corner of all of that, right? The symmetry full up with enough of our young people. You understand? We can't go back there and say, okay, we think so wanna stand too long over there now. Come. Nah, them gone. Them gone. You understand? Them gone. So we don't want them decadence. We don't want them thing there. We don't want all them something there. Somebody said them a hustle money. We don't want them type of behavior. We don't want them type of influence in our areas. See, we're not in a community, but we don't want them in our areas. We don't want people them who call themselves, who say that they want hustle and money and bring them people here. We already had a fatality. A young woman lost her life with one of them group there. That's one too many. And then we have some vulgarity. We have some... them man there that call themselves whatever. They behave a certain way, which is just like the Yankee parts. You understand? All of a sudden, costumes, right? Because people don't understand the psychology of this thing, you know. Costumes have a lot to do with this something, you know. And all those ex-convicts that can't get a job because of certain things. Some of them already written up. Yeah, if a person is going to bring them people over here, what to that same set of people looking to take some of our well-educated scholars and everybody, and Pan-Africans to discuss developing an infrastructure here for us, or looking at business. And we're not talking about clothes and all them something right now. We're talking about food and health services. Why you want to go bring some people that going to come and create some kind of like battle axe and spitting and all kind of other something and create this ego and this tempo that become tribalistic? Because if we ain't tribalistic in the first place, if we don't have this kind of aggravation in it in the first place, it's not taking off. It has to be hyped. Wow. And then we have another set of people now, these Hebrew, that can't keep themselves with all the costumes them I wear. Them have to beat off. And I try to show you Islam now. And they make some serious mistake themselves. They want to show that there was some Arab roots out of inner Africa, but out of Africa back into Africa. And all they could have shown is that the destination was Asia. Right? You want to see how quick they move it off the screen? They didn't, like, boom. But they move their camera. They move whatever. It's so embarrassing for them. Because them get 2 books. They had 2 books that were published here in England, written by British people and published here in England. And one of them was printed somewhere about Fleet Street in the centuries gone. And it would appear from the reading either they're classifying us to be the N-word, the person who's reading, or it's being reprinted and they've used those terminology to verify us. But there were so much errors in it, because when they were speaking of the Moors, they were using the N-word. And the reason I say Moors is because they were talking about the Spanish Muslim in Spain and going into Spain, Africans going into Spain and leaving Spain and going into Morocco. So you say the N-word and the N-word again. And I'm saying, wow. Say I give it credit. And then back then, some 100 years ago, there were some of these people that couldn't say Muhammad, and them say Hamad. Huh? They had so many different ways of spelling Muhammad, and then sometimes what it was is that the person who they're referring to is a Turkish person, and even a person who is coming from Baghdad, Iraq, or Iran. So that was astonishing, because sometimes where they want to proportion some kind of blame on the prophet, that the prophet was this vile person, which they would be the only people as in saying this, because all the other Caucasians don't say this in public, but it's written. That's amazing. And then they're dealing with this gymnastics with the Bible. I wonder how much people recognize and realize that the alleged revelation is a dream of John. Now it's not John the Baptist, because remember, John the Baptist was Isa, Yeshua's cousin. If you didn't know that, I'm telling you. He was the forerunner of Christ, Yeshua, Isa alayhi salam. And his name is Yahya. So one of them Roman man cut his head off to be able to have his way with one child, one young girl. Him already have the mother of that girl, but him lost after the girl. And the mother and the daughter tell him that the only way him can get this thing is to cut John's head off. And so they requested, so he did. And he said he never had no problem with John. It's the people who have problem with him. That sounds like Pilate, isn't it? So this John had a dream. And all these dreams, they attributed all what he said, has been saying in this revelation, to be saying that Jesus, right? See this Jesus? That Jesus is, and Jesus is the one who's saying, and so on and so on. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's come right back again. And now you have African Americans are championing this thing. Revelation. And they're very fiery with it. Someone need to ask them, was this sent by God? or is this something by man? Christian. Please clarify. So we want to go to Melika Shabazz again. I'm not going to hear say, oh, yeah, yes, the reason I'm doing this one is because them try to say, well, since Malcolm was thrown out, he was what them call the thing? He was silenced in the Nation of Islam. And they also put Malcolm with Martin. They're saying that two Malcolm now leave and gone among we, the Muslims. Him get soft. And that fire and that care for black people, African Americans and black people across the earth. He gave up to follow some Arabs, as in following this Islam. But then they get choked again because it's that Melika Shabazz left Hajj and went to Africa. Same, it was like March, April, May. And at them I put the dates and everything up there, you know. And then with Martin, them say Martin find out that the when I try build is a blazing house for us. Instead they look at the excellence of the two men. The best thing they showed was the relationship. And they tried to make out like there were none. A lot of people didn't know that. It's just that Melika Shabazz stood firm on human rights for us. Martin stayed with his civil rights. That didn't mean that they hated each other. Malcolm disliked the approach, period. And then the fact that we were getting our head busted and everything, and Martin was saying we shall overcome. He's saying, we've been saying this thing for too long. That was the difference. Say it was fundamental and ethical. It wasn't something that the man them, if he saw them, he would have beat him up or try to beat him up. Come on, man. You people are lame. So we're going to show you, so really and truly, you can brush, because my thing is this, you know. If we don't accept and recognize that our predecessors made some serious mistakes when it came to God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the continent and in the capital. The capital being Kemet. And if you all was to read and reflect the life experiences there, you would recognize it. You would recognize it. But you don't want to really, and then people come piling, you know, with this Arab talk, and then you say Muslim and this and that. And you don't realize that all this prejudice and so forth. And prejudice is all right, but it's racism through ignorance and not realizing that the people is us. So I don't know when you want to attribute us to them and someone else to them. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that a lot of people are darn foolish. Because if Egypt is Africa and the Egyptians of yesteryear are black Africans, When did you transform them? Yeah, we know the Hyksos and we know all these different invaders and the Romans and everything. But when did you give up the ghost for coin of a phrase? God had a problem with our attitude. God had a problem with us creating deities. God had a problem with us electing among us of a God or a figure and calling it a God. A serious problem. Read Moses properly and get the encounter, the exchange. Don't just take the hand underneath the arm and pulling it out and just say, "Ooh." No. Listen to everything. And then also try to understand Joseph, the advent of Joseph, you Hebrews and others. And take your time, don't rush. Take your time. But if you're doing this with your eyes closed from humanity, you'll be working with Hollywood and you'll not see yourself and see the wrongs that we have done. And it has nothing to do with us doing wrong and some white man come with him ship and kidnap we. No. Stop that. We did wrong. And we haven't made Tawbah to God Almighty yet. We haven't seek forgiveness and seeks God's pleasure. Is glory and His blessings. We haven't done that. Because the way things have been is to make us think that it was not us, that we didn't do anything, and those people are not us, were not our ancestors. So then we listen to Ham, Sham, and Japheth nonsense. So we're in agreement that we are cursed people. And that's why we behave the way we do in the churches, and we seek for people who call themselves men and now women of God for all kind of toxic things. Huh? And this one comes say about them can do this, and this one said that the Holy Spirit has come and do this to them, and they're speaking in tongues and carrying on, and then they say they're healing people. Now, if you look at some white people them in their churches, they're conducting the same ceremony, but they look rather odd. You know, because them can't dance, right? They don't have no rhythm. And choose a make-believe thing, they're not good acting. The black men and women that do their thing, them have rhythm, even though they must say the same rubbish. But they're good actors. The rhythm sell the thing. The white person, they don't sell nothing. But them do the thing. Them do. You understand? They're able to sell the whole fiasco. Because hundreds, the place will be packed and loads of people want this healing thing. But they don't behave like black people. Black people are stand 6 foot tall and drop like them drop from 10 foot. Yeah, it's amazing how they just fall down. How they just drop on the floor. And not just drop, them roll over and everything. Every day basketball, me feel for my youth, me think say, yo, wait. Yo, somebody come break him fall? Because me think injury. But with them people that them think injury. Even the pastor, nobody don't try get underneath them. But they just go sideways. They just go sideways or front for, huh? Yeah, listen here. Them don't fall backwards, you know. Sideways. Sidewalk doctors. Yeah, them people there, man. Them people there. So, I don't know, man. We need to, hey, I don't know why I'm to our shepherds and fishermen that just say, listen, stop this thing, man. So that's why everybody can come now with something new. With not even new, it's old, but they're just reenacting it because it's over 100 years ago that Father Divine and all these different people was doing something. And we have enough of them throughout the Caribbean that was doing something. So a person who gets somebody or some little script here and there about those people can come now and reenact. But once they've got the costume, it's good to go. I don't know what it is about us and costumes. Yeah, that's a serious thing. So, yeah, England. And then we have another group of people that sell way out the other day. The Windrush people sell way out. And it's not them. It's the fact that that group of people use the word Windrush to broad sweep all of us. And it shouldn't have gone like that. Now we have King Charles attack has been approached by a reparation group. Now we have to try to find out, is this the authentic Henry Beckers and them as an ultimatum of all of the bodies them, or what? But it sounds like it's a different setup because so far it's like different peoples and different islands are saying that they would agree to, hey, and this is not England, this is the royal family, this approach and this request is made to them. We're not doing things correct. Once we're not organized as in one body, we're going to be played. King Charles' mother gone, and we didn't get no more, we didn't even get a smile, because we didn't get no chance of an apology, and not an audience to discuss reparation with her, to her. So I don't know how far you want to go with a division with King Charles. And England and King Charles not say nothing to France to say, listen, leave the people them alone. Huh? Nah. France know that if them grab that youth, them man there and put them in exile, there's a problem. If them assassinate the young man, the people them, it's a problem. So they're mediating. Yes, mediating. And why is they mediating? You know, say that they've drawn up sanctions and everything, and England and America support them. Stranglehold. Then on the other side, you got Libya, that they mash up England and Germany and France. They mash up. And then on the other side, we have Yemen, that for the Saudis to join the Western Man Club, they went over there and still are there spilling the blood of their brothers. And we in the diaspora ain't responding because we don't know the history. We isolate ourselves and listen to these people shouting us out, these espousing this nonsense about Arab. I know it's coming to the end of the year. The UNICEF appeals for Africa, water, blind, and so forth, or from a different illness, has started. All the years in Palestine, the atrocious behavior and the murder of the people them, victimization of the people them, and the apartheid structures of that set of people against another set of people. And all you can hear about is human rights. And so every month a representative goes to Europe and stand up and sometimes cry, them have the Hollywood water running from them eye, a man, and say that the Palestinians are doing this and this to them. Where the news does tell you that yesterday 13, 15, 20 Palestinians were shot. These people have all forms of excuse why they go into my house, mash down my house, and shoot me dead. Instead I tell people so that I attack them without these Europeans saying, wait a minute, so how did you get into their house? Why did you go there and ransack them house, shoot them up, and then brought the bulldozer down to knock their property down? This is happening. Every month someone turns up in Europe and give their reports. It's a must for them to do that. And the European unions and everybody do not turn around and say, listen. And some European journalists just get up and said, no, you're lying. But nobody don't want to see their video. Nobody don't want to see their picture, their photos. And then Tutus, them shut them up and usher them out of the place. And we are going about Pan-African this and that. Too much talking. Need some action. Medical Shabazz, come.
And both of these are hard to come by. This one isn't as hard to come by as this one, but this one is called Africa's Lost Past, the startling rediscovery of a continent. And this was put together by professors who were commissioned by the nations that belong to the UN after the Africans got their independence. After the Africans got their independence, they expressed complete indignation over the misrepresentation that the African continent had received while they were under the domination of the white man. So they pressured the UN to take some of the leading scientists of this day to delve into the true history of Africa and compile a pamphlet on the lost civilizations. And so this book is a record put out by the UN, endorsed by the UN, which means it has the recognition and endorsement of all civilized, free, and independent nations on this earth. And in this book, it tells you, in a nutshell, about the Islamic civilizations that existed in Africa in the 8th century. The Islamic civilization, you know what that means? Muslim civilization. It means, please, it means that the Muslim empire, that the Muslim religion, that the Muslim culture, Muslim civilization was throughout West Africa, in the area called Ghana, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Gold Coast, Nigeria, all down through there. Vast Muslim empire in the 8th century. You know what I mean by 8th century? In the year 700 something. Wait a minute. 8th century. Yeah. Right? Yeah, 700 something. This means 800 years before America was discovered. 800 years before America was discovered. 800 years before you were kidnapped and brought here. I have to emphasize kidnapped and brought here because some of y'all think you come over here as pilgrims on the Mayflower. But 800 years before our forefathers were kidnapped and brought here, the white man admits today that the Islamic civilization, the Muslim civilization, stretched throughout Africa. And he has to admit it now. And just to read you one paragraph from this book to show you why he didn't want to go into it. And frankly, in one of our court cases in Buffalo, New York, a couple of weeks ago, the white man, because he couldn't get a Muslim to testify against Mr. Muhammad, he went to Columbia University and found a Jew professor who was supposed to have been an expert on Islam. And he paid this Jew to come as his witness for the state and try and prove that Mr. Muhammad wasn't a real Muslim, and also that there was no Islamic culture in Africa, that it's wrong to tell Negroes that we should be Muslims now because we were Muslims then, because there was no Muslim civilization in Africa. That's what this old man testified to, white man. So naturally, Allah blessed us to have this book from the UN, and he had to recognize it. Here in one paragraph it says, but the ancient capital of Ghana has another claim to distinction. It was the cradle of the Negro Islamic culture which flourished in the Sudan from the 8th century to our own day. Think of that. Bringing to fame such centers as Timbuktu and Djinn. Now, you know, brothers and sisters, you and I never heard of Timbuktu. When I was in school, they taught that Timbuktu talk. I thought Timbuktu was in California. And I went to school in Michigan. They never let us know that Timbuktu was in Africa. But here now they are saying that Timbuktu was one of the centers of learning in an Islamic civilization that existed in Africa 700 or 800 years before America was discovered. This is good. And when the man was trying to say that there was no, he also went on, but they read this paragraph, which said, in some ways, the most valuable of all the Arab sources are the first-hand reports of the two, as far as I know, the only two Arab traveler authors who made extensive journeys through the Western Sudan. And by Western Sudan in those days, they meant Africa. All of Africa was called the Sudan, because Sudan is an Arabic word that means, it's plural for black. When you say Sudan, you're talking about the land of the blacks. So here, it's speaking of these two Arabs who made journeys through the Western Sudan, which means West Africa. Ibn Battuta and Leo Africanus, both were remarkable men. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Battuta, notice how they call him, they didn't say Jim Jones. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Battuta, that's the kind of name you had before you came here, was born at Tangier in 1304. Pick up on this, 1304. America wasn't discovered until 1492. That's almost 200 years later. And spent the greater part of his life traveling through the Muslim world of his day, visiting Arabia, Asia Minor, Khorasan, India, China, and Indonesia, as well as West Africa. You notice now what he said. He traveled through the Muslim world. And all of these countries that he traveled in were parts of the Muslim world. And he said, as well as West Africa. And see, the white men have taught you and me that in Africa, West Africa, people was eating, they were cannibals, like this cracker tried to say last night on the television. Which he reached in 1352. At this time, the empire of Mali still dominated the Western Sudan,
And Ibn Battuta gives an extremely interesting and human account of some of its institutions. Here's what he says. Speaking in the year 1352, 100 years, 100 and some years before the discovery of America, quote, "The Negroes possess some admirable qualities." Now what you have to understand is, he didn't say Negroes, because he wrote this in Arabic. And these white professors have translated what Ibn Battuta wrote in Arabic into English. And so they saying Negroes, but wherein Battuta, when he wrote it, he didn't say Negroes, because they didn't call black people Negroes in those days. See, you have to know all this in order to really read between the lines. The Negroes, meaning us, this is before America was discovered, possess some admirable qualities. They are seldom unjust, have a greater abhorrence of injustice than any other people. Pick up on it. Here this man, before America is discovered, is talking about black people are different from white people. Isn't that what he said? He said black people are against injustice. Black people are more so against injustice than any other people are against injustice. Why, this follows, you know the white man is not against injustice. He wouldn't have this country if he was. And he wouldn't have you here if he was. You wouldn't be as dumb as you are if the white man was against injustice. Don't be angry when I say you wouldn't be as dumb as you are. Because when I say, I mean we, all of us, we're all in the same boat. And we're dumb. Don't say we're not. How are we going to be in this boat if we weren't dumb? You can't put a wise man in this kind of shape, and we're in bad shape. You don't get in this kind of shape being wise. You get in this kind of shape being dumb. Right or wrong? Let's see. So he says here, their sultan, meaning their ruler, shows no mercy to anyone who is guilty of the least act of injustice. Without, you see, our civilization then was so right. It was right. Didn't have nothing but justice. No crime, no stealing, no fairies running around like you got throughout the Negro community today. There is complete security in their country. Talking about the civilization where you and I live. Complete security, no robbers, no murderers. Brother, this actually is describing heaven. This is what the man is doing. He is describing a civilization that has such high morals, such a high sense of morality, that it's almost like being in heaven. Neither traveler nor inhabitant in their country has anything to fear from robbers or men of violence. They are careful to observe the hours of prayer. On Fridays, if a man does not go early to the mosque, he cannot find the corner to pray in on account of the crowd. So many people go to the mosque to pray on Friday. The man says that if you don't get there ahead of time, you can't get in. Because these people by nature are religious. These people by nature turn to Allah to give praise and to give thanks. Brother, this is being written 200 years before the white man knew that the earth was round.
Yes, so you see now, we'll keep do that, man. Because a man want to pull punches when I run from it. You know what I mean? We don't have to run from it because we have so much. We have so much because we did so much. We exist. You know what I mean? We exist. Who is this we? Black people. We existed, man. Understand? And I shouldn't be saying black, and I'm supposed to be saying African people. You understand? We exist. You see? And we don't need someone to come validate for we. Because we exist. We exist and we love it. You know? So on the screen you see Larry Cunningham. Yeah, man, Larry Cunningham. Islington again. Islington, Haringey, Wood Green, you know what I mean? I saw them leave and then little more Hackney. So, yeah, see that, man. Mr. Cunningham. I have some more picture them for put up there. So, you see my way the West Brom Agilian kit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Think say I joke with joking with things. So yeah, don't keep trying to write things about us, you know. I tell you, you have to interview us. You understand? Don't just go about, but you write something about people like Islington. Nah. No. You have to come this and interview us. You understand? And so on. Interview the people them. You know what I mean? Our old fathers them and mothers them and so on. You understand? Just don't step out there and listen to somebody that not look like we. And if they look like we, they never come from there in the first place. Because them something that this young woman have done already. Nah. Wrong move.
I passed through that valley and saw people crying. Many days and nights they feel the strains and pains in the dungeon. They need someone to give a hand, someone that they can depend on. They need someone to give a hand, someone that they can depend on. Many days and nights they feel the strains and pains in the dungeon.
Yes.
For years you have used, confused, misguide, and abuse. Now if you are blind and you cannot see, this is prophecy, no mystery to me. The King of Kings is Lord of all men. You have tried to confuse, mislead, misguide, and abuse. The Lion of Judah shall break every chain, give us the victory again and again. The King of Kings is Lord of all men. Lion of Judah shall break
Yes, the Lion of Judah. May I tell you, a man them gone to what? King James. And another set of people want called James. James Stewart, a black man. May I tell you, wonders never cease to end. You know what I mean? And so on and so on. So then give up the Lion of Judah for James. King James Version. May I tell you, what an illusion. And they feel good about it too, you know. They're strong. You understand me? Now the man them must say, yo, they have no liking for the Abrahamic people. But yet still, them have Abraham alayhi salam. They must say Abraham and Isaac. So they make Ishmael to be a cast out and Hagar to be a cast out. But them like a side of, hey, I tell you, man, confusion, toxic confusion. Them people there, I tell you, serious thing. You know what I mean? So it's a joke a second. Yeah. So when I can go now and say, yo, what him say again? Say, look on Revelation. They say Revelation is John, but it's not John the Baptist. It's a second John. You see? Okay. Not James, you know, John. You see? John the Baptist, one of them big Caesar man them wanted his wife, daughter. He wanted to deal with her. And she and her mother say, here what? Here's the condition. You cut off him head and you can have the girl. Yes. Both mother and daughter say so. See? So it's not that John, him head get cut off. John the Baptist, the cousin of Christ. You know what I mean? The forerunner. Yeah, man. Cousin, forerunner. You understand? Serious thing. You would never know about the bird, the dove, without John. See? And you never know the reason why, one of the reasons why Christ was here. You would never know that without John. You understand? Without John. Right? But then when I tell you about baptism, you'll never know that without John. You know, the commandments and everything. So people don't talk about the commandments, you know. People don't talk about them want to turn their Jesus into God and Son of God and everything else. You know what I mean? Running off with some form of illusion and confuse your brains, your spirit, your soul, your testimony. You understand? So this is the things that we have to be mindful of with people. But who can tell you that now? Me, I said that, but you're gone clear in something else. So I get 3 more tunes and we're gone, you know. Yes, man.
Back out, we got for
A real thing, a real talk, this is yo, I tell you, take the gear, hey, take the uniform them off, you know. Yeah? The one good thing is that there's so much young men. There's so much young men. But you see, with me, I look ahead, you see? What will they do next? You know what I mean? You see, you have to have aim objectives, you see? Because these things are fashion, man fashion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the ultimate. So there's no aim and objective for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see? And al-Islam. No, it's a liberty. So we have to look at the aim and objective and what next. And you're going to, we will soon, hey, yo, you will hear. Because there's a lot of issues, you know. I mean, I pray for nobody. You understand? There's a lot of issues them already have, you know. the people they want go with girls them, and them I tell you say that the Bible say that them can do that. And since them I say that them are Hebrew, that they're not Hebrew, they're Israelites and so forth. The people them who fish, them cast them net into the Bible and hook up something, they not catch no fish. They not catch no fish. You see, they might work with this thing here where they have a right. You understand? From puberty of a girl. Them have a right to consecrate her and all these things, you know. See? So then you ask yourself, how it get there? How it get there? See? So just go back to David Koresh, go back to Z York, and all these different people. See? And you see how the thing set up. Huh? And then look ahead of all of that. And you see, the greatest thing is that they're numbers. And don't be too surprised. We know there's numbers. And they're greater numbers than them at the present moment that's in lockdown, that are working on some big farms out of the penitentiary. That's why they associate themselves with the Hispanics, because there's a whole heap of Mexicans, a whole heap of Hispanics in them in at the prisons there. And they're working and building roads and broken rock stone and farms and everything, and cleaning and cleaning swamps and so forth. You understand? So that picture, to see so much young men, is also the same picture when you look at gridiron football, so much young men. You understand? So everybody wants something. So then put the sex thing on them, which would satisfy them more entirely. But that we're gonna come with charges. Watch it and see. It will come with charges, and then you're gonna hear that the legal system in America is inundated with cases. All the same cases now. Sexual perversion, rape, all kind of something. Whatever title they choose to use to demonize them young men, it will be there. And the carriers, them so strong with this thing, them say them have a right. See? That God says so. Say now when I work with that now, and them say them have a right, and then God says so and everything, they will execute. And then the law that says, in God we put our trust, will take them now and throw them backside in a jail. And we're talking from 60 odd years, got 30 years, one strike, I tell you. 30, not 13. See? Okay. So, badness, no matter which way you turn. And there are some old brooks, them, that are running, leading, administrating this something here. So sad. So sad. You understand? Them young boys, they don't have no house. They don't have no house. The man, they have house and vehicles and everything. Them have all form of amenities. And them know where the next dollar is definitely, not even dollar, where the next $1,000 come from. Them youth, they don't even know where the next dollar come from. So the excitement and the garments, and now them tell them, say, watch out, when you see something that you want, and it's at this age and that age, you can start there. Yo, I tell you, man, badness. Yo, Muslims, Don't follow them, you know. I tell you, when I get the worst in the stick, I tell you.
Back out we God, for you don't know Rastafari. You don't know Rastafari. Back out we can't. Back out we can't. For you don't know Selassie I. You better know. You better know. Jah Jah is mighty. You better go. You better go and preach the words of Selassie I. Oh, we got back out here what I say. For you don't know Rastafari. Man must know themselves. Man must know this time. Who to praise in this time? This a tribulation time. This a tribulation time. Man must know this time. Rasta no hungry. Rasta no starve. Rasta can get what they want.
See, you can go shop and buy that Sendway, you know, says speed. What that? What you want? One more after this and we're gone.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, you people. My name is Mr. Smart. Some of the girls all say ye, I am a man with a great heart.
Could you imagine? We are telling the young girl them this something here right now to entrap them, and we never did back then. Oh gosh, man, terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, when we want to know God and everything, and you get some people that come now and twist everything because of their own interpretation and so on. Now you can see, you can recognize the ills of people who play around with religion or play around with scriptures. See? So then the people them who are slap and kick religious-minded people, them say it's religion. No, it's the people. Now, there are persons ahead of the people them who's acting and reacting in this manner. Those people, they have their own agendas. Now the people them who is reacting, them have faculties, but them not wise. And they're lacking something in society to measure up with society. What's that? They may not have the amenities to make themselves somewhat independent in relation to having their own accommodation or a flat. Some place that them can call them own, living within. And not like them own the spot, but they don't have it. And those who have it, they don't have the means to upkeep it. Because so many have just come out of jail. So many is on probation and all kind of something like that. And even if you just wipe that one aside, put that to the left, there are those who are working, who are paying their rates and their way in life, but they're suffering from the slavery syndrome. They want to taste and understand freedom. And they want to belong. They want to be part of an inclusive body. So while they're searching, and this thing you're talking, all this thing about the kingdom of tomorrow's tomorrow, it's not exciting. It shows a stability of belonging, because it's projecting a tomorrow's journey. And in that, I will, or whoever it is, will be free. They will experience freedom. And they will belong to something. That's the key thing here, belonging somewhere. And once there's a vision, no matter how small it is, once there's some sight, not vision, once there's some sight of something like that, that's adequate for those who are working even in IT. They have some form of income and they have some place to live. The only disturbing factor is that female, not the young girl, not the little child, the female that person may be involved with, that is also seeking the taste of freedom. Not to be belong, and now she wants to develop a family. Her belonging now is to have her own institution called family. She wants a good man to bring forth a child from. But first she start working on this relationship. But if this man is gone off on one of these religious trots, then it's an issue. If they're both on the religious trot, then that makes it more comfortable socially. But through that religious trot, don't have an in game. There's no in vision. They will suffer pain, the consequences. And the people who orchestrate this something here, they're not sharing their aims and objectives with such. Because those ones here who have work already, who are qualified, them have skills, them have experience, have employment, them have somewhere to live, and they're thinking of instituting a family. They're the ones that they do not want to engage. Because they're the ones that are going to ask questions. And they're dealing with time. So what I'm saying is, how dare someone turn around and say religion do that? No, man, that's people. You have to understand the fundamental of the word religion, and not what the Europeans have showed you that they did with religion. And them created fight among themselves, and then they had the audacity to the Pope to come and bless all the bombs and the guns and the bullets. Yeah. What's new about that? When them kidnap we from Africa, are the Bible them work with? Yeah, man, the Bible and work with and they had musket. People that don't recognize that them people that could have stand up and shoot with, you know. Why would they deal with bow and arrow and spear and everything? Them people that shoot. Fire gun, them call musket. How much you know what musket is? You understand? Hey, cha. So, we have to try and find ways and means of recognizing these things and help our children, distract them from these distractions. That's so funny, isn't it? Distract them from the distractions. Yeah, we have to, you know what I mean? Our homes have to be such a beautiful, safe place, and we have to have some knowledge in them homes and some reasoning in them homes. And it's not just ourselves. It's got to be our families, our friends, our brothers and sisters. We have to come back to that communal thing where we exchange ourselves, you know, and we cook and share with one another. And our children them can intermingle with one another. And we can have conversation, open, free conversation and discourse with one another. If we don't do that now, we not give ourselves and give our children a chance to understand social issues. Yeah, I tell you. And how to adapt and adjust themselves towards critical thinking. Because why is it that people are socially engineer things? We can't. It will be hurtful for our children to fall foul of these things. Yes, we are here to protect them. I tell you, because what little I know, my brethren, my neighbor, and somebody should know, and know better, I don't even know nothing about that something there, because them just dash it in the bin, and then I move on a different frequency. Yes, because not everything that Tom Paul do outside there that we support to concern ourselves with. Why? That stops us, because what do we know about it really? You understand? We assume and you have to have our own agendas. Our own agendas. That's important. Very, very important. So we have to say guidance to God. You know what? Remember Joshua? Yeah. Hey, you see the music I'm playing these days? I see the rhythms that me play on Friday. If you listen, instruments, you know, and I sit down, I get up and do something. You understand? Yeah, man. I clean up, stand up, and do something. No matter how old them rhythms they are, they're calling the spirit, the soul to say, listen, activate yourself. You understand? And the memories, and those people who call themselves musical connoisseurs should listen, you know, 'cause we are listening to. You are listening to a 2-track that I give of 4-piece instrumental band and sometimes 5, because the percussions are never out. The percussions are part and parcel of everything we do. You understand? So you know, so the vocal leads the way, or the DJ. But the music, oh gosh, man. Guidance, Shaka. God bless your soul, man.
Hey, you people. My name is Mr. Smart. Some of the girls all say I am a man with a great heart. For everywhere I go, I gotta put on my show to let you all know be your guide. Oh,
Hear what him say? Happiness is desire. You understand? For you and you out there. You understand? What profound words. You're joking, man. Guidance, your guidance, guidance. Said your guidance. Yeah, Benji. Benji. Oh, gosh, man. Yo, we had 4 days of some serious heat. Some serious heat, 4 days of some serious heat. I tell you. Heat, Oh, gosh, man. Serious heat. Can't find the breeze.
Affection that puts my love into motion. It is the act of affection that puts my love into motion. It is the act of affection that puts my love into motion. It is the act of affection that puts my love into motion.
Change the image because Sudan, and I don't know why them twist now. Sudan are joined with Egypt and I condemn Ethiopia for the hydroelectric project. And this morning when I hear them talking, I say, I wonder where the because we work with the water to provide, but where's this distilled water go? So I say to myself, if the water is going to be contaminated because of the hydroelectric source, then right, because the water come all the way down to Sudan and Egypt and Uganda. And from Uganda it gone Kenya too. So a serious problem that. But let me say, the people them can't devise the something like that and just say, yo, we're not interested about other people. Because they would have take the pure water from their in and the water run down the mountain to get the power. But once them do what them do with that water should not be allowed to infiltrate the rest of the Nile. So I'm going to spend my time going up to the embassy and find out. I'm going to talk to some British experts on this something to find out, because if they're that careless, then that is wrong. That would be wrong. That'd be catastrophic. Serious thing. That'd be catastrophic. Because this Nile has been here from the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this earth and put us here. And it has a way of cleansing itself all the way down towards Kemet, with all the ravine and everything, and the different plants, and the what the thing they call the papyrus plants and everything that cleanses the Nile. And it also cleanses the bottom and take away the algae. That's what those papyrus and various other plants does. So now if you're coming now to and bringing, if this use water for the electric is going to also be discharged after it's being used in the Nile, where it's running down, obviously it be running down to Sudan and to Egypt, Uganda and Kenya and Tanzania. No. This, yo, seriously. You understand? Seriously. Because when Nkomo was building one in Accra, it's a different thing because them have different areas. And Africa is designed like that, you know. Seriously, not man did it. It's just the way it is. But the Nile is essential. You understand? I have to find out before me switch sides and start propagating this something here. Because water, serious thing. You cannot pollute that with electrostatics and everything. No. Dangerous move. So where's the guidance? Yeah, that's a dangerous move.